Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast, the football podcast that we bring you each and every day. If you could head out to YouTube, smash that subscribe and bell notification button, and of course, drop a like on the video, even though it kind of hurts. Um, yeah, our final match reaction of the season. It's been an unbelievable journey, folks. I'd like to thank each and every one of you who has come on this journey with us, who has subscribed to the channel, liked any of the videos, shared any of the content, jumped into the chat. Any little or big contribution that you've made, all our guests that we've had on. Shout out all the Arsenal boys and Henry and everyone who's come on and stuff like that. And my partner in crime, the Dazzler, of course, as well. And it's been one heck of a season, and it's been one heck of a journey. As a Liverpool fan, it's been tough. As a Liverpool fan, it was tough tonight to watch that Champions League final, especially in Istanbul, with our history and of that city and stuff like that. And it's a tough match reaction to do. It's really tough. Uh, it's you look back on it and stuff like that. And I have to say, it's not often we pat ourselves on the back here at the upper tier and stuff like that. But myself and Dazzler, that preview that we did for this game was absolutely sensational. We practically called it to a T. We spoke about the gulf in quality between the two teams, but we said that the technique of the Italian teams and Inter Milan with Inzaghi there and stuff, they would try to bring the game down, create a kicking game and stuff like that, put City out of their rhythm and all that kind of stuff. And that's exactly what they did. And that was the game plan. And the game plan was working absolutely brilliantly up till the 68th minute. And then, of course, Rodri steps up. Darren loves this man. Rodri steps up with a fantastic finish that flew through a number of Inter Milan bodies and into the back of the net. Onana didn't even move. What a keeper Onana is as well. But we have to give City their flowers as much as it hurts. You know what I mean? This is kind of, it's not really a night to be talking about financial breaches and stuff like that and all. It's a night really to, you know, pay respect to that team and the journey they've been on and what they've achieved. The equaling United's 99 treble. Been absolutely fantastic. Sorry for that, folks. But they've been absolutely sensational. But not tonight. I think they've been. You seen them against Real Madrid and how good they were, and even Bayern Munich and stuff like that. And you talk about those and say, sit. There's the mascots here beside me. Sit down, or you'll be going out. Um, but yeah, absolutely sensational on the pathway to this final. But we did also say, after that semi-final, we turned around and we said, "There's only so many of those performances you have in a season, and sometimes they peak a little bit too early, if you like." And it would be a struggle to maintain that level of performance right into the final. Of course, they have to come through an FA Cup, and then it's a long week before you get to that final and stuff like that. There's a lot of hesitation. There's a lot of anxiety and stuff like that and all, and you just never know what's going to happen. What do you want? I'm trying to do a match reaction here. Do you want to say hi to people? Here, come here, come here. Say hi to everyone. Say hi. It is the last show, so it's only fitting that you come and say hi. Look, they're all here. Look, say hi. Now, go on over there. I'll give you your. Now, go over there. Sorry about that. Now, yeah, but it is. It's kind of. It is a kind of a sickener, and I mean, if you're a Man United fan tonight, I'm sure you're way sicker than we are as Liverpool fans and stuff like that. But it's an outstanding achievement. Um, he is a sensational coach, and this is before we talk about tonight, of course. But to achieve that is something unbelievable. We tried real hard last year to land a quad, and you've seen how tough it was. And I suppose there was going to come a time when they do get to a final and they do get over the line. Obviously, getting beaten by Chelsea would have been tough. And the way they went out last year would have been even tougher. But this year they got over the line. Now, I suppose if we talk about the match, I mean, they won't necessarily look back on this game in terms of fondness, in terms of performance. But what they will do is they'll look back on this game, and what they will tell you and what we've always told you in the past. Even good teams, when they're not performing well, find a way to win. And that's kind of been the story of City at times. And tonight it was really one of those times they had to dig deep. Ruben Diaz, Nathan Ake, Akanji, Stones was in the wars. You seen his jersey and everything and stuff like that. De Bruyne obviously going off injured. They were very, very anxious. The team was riddled with anxiety tonight. There's no doubt about it. Nothing was flowing. Everything was forced. Milan were all over them like a rash, so they had them right out of their kilter. And a lot of players just didn't kind of show up until certain moments. If you look at Bernardo Silva, what did he do in the game really until those moments? He was out of the game. Haaland, bar that chance, what did he do? Very, very little. I was actually surprised in the game actually that with about 20 minutes to go, or say just before they got the score, that they weren't planning on hooking Haaland and bringing on Alvarez. To be honest, he was so poor and so out of the game. He was literally offering nothing. And it didn't help either Pep on the sideline as well. If you look at Inzaghi, Inzaghi was in his technical area. He was coaching his players all the time. He was on them. He was explaining what he wanted to do. But if you looked at the other side there with Pep, Pep was trying to get the crowd going. Now, I don't understand in a Champions League final what you need to do to get the crowd going and getting behind your team. Is a kind of a very strange one and stuff like that. But he was down on his knees and he was screaming at people, and he was screaming at Haaland to get involved, like to up his work rate and put a shift in and try and make things happen, drop back in and do stuff and all. And obviously losing KDB was huge for them as well, and would have been very worrying with Phil Foden coming on. Obviously Phil came on, he had one or two chances and didn't put them away. But if you look at Inter Milan, if you look at really the difference between the two teams, Inter Milan played absolutely brilliant tonight. For me, by far the better team. I think they created a number of chances, but I think they just lacked, and in some respects, the quality, but in other respects, they just lacked belief. I don't know whether Inter Milan actually really believed they could beat Man City. They obviously looked at Man City against Real Madrid, so there was a huge fear there against them and stuff like that. It was probably the worst build up to a Champions League final that I ever experienced. There was no massive build up. There was no, the way you start a hit to the Wednesday, and from the Wednesday on, then it builds and builds and builds and builds. There was none of that build up at all. So it was kind of like, it kind of let me down a little bit in terms of the build up, that they didn't go in on the narrative and stuff like that. They didn't go back and, sell the 2005 final in a way that, like, it was okay. It was a different team from England against a different Milan team on a similar stage, in similar kind of circumstances. Man City going for the treble, and how big and how monumental that is. Inter looking to do something that no one expected them to do this season. And it just, the way the game played out and all, like I thought like, if you look, let's have a look at if you look at the Inter Milan team, Serbia at the back was outstanding. Bastoni, what a warrior he is, Darmian had an unbelievable game. Then you go into that midfield. Dumfries let me down a little bit. I know he had that moment where he didn't cross the ball in, but I think overall, I thought Dumfries wasn't as good as what he uses. Nicolo Barella, this is a guy I've been talking about for 18 months on the podcast. 18 months. What a player he is in there with Brozovic. Unbelievable. And Calahunga. Unreal. And DeMarco out on the other side, constantly working hard, putting in a shift, doubling back for the team, doubling up on players, taking the fouls when they need to. So clever in their way of the fouls. Again, we said it on our WhatsApp group tonight. I just want to say hats off to the referee tonight. I thought the referee tonight was absolutely outstanding. One or two little moments where he didn't get it right, but to be honest, I said in our WhatsApp group, has anyone even realised the ref is on the pitch? He was absolutely invisible for most of the game, and he was absolutely outstanding. He let the game I wouldn't say flow, but he let the game flow insofar as he wasn't trigger happy to dish out cards and all that kind of stuff. He understood the magnitude of the game and how it should be refereed and all that kind of stuff. And I just thought the referee tonight was outstanding. And here, on this show, we're not the kind of show that compliments referees at all. We're very, very harsh on them and stuff like that. I don't think did they even have to go to VAR even once? I don't think so. So that was pretty good. I thought Laturo Martinez up front, I thought he put in a real good shift as well. I thought Jacko put in a good shift, but again, just age catches up on you. They brought on Big Rom. The stage was set for Big Rom, of course. Our guys in the WhatsApp group who know him pretty well. He's played for both sets of teams, United and Chelsea. They've often said he doesn't show up in the big games, and tonight he didn't show up again. He had some great opportunities, got in the way of the Marcos header, and then he had that header himself and a couple of dragged shots. But that chance of that header at the death, you've got to bury that either side of the keeper, don't you? You really have to bury that either side of the keeper. When he came on as well, Latoro had a chance as well to square the ball to him on that breakaway where Akanji and the keeper got their communication all wrong. You gotta square that ball to Romelu Lukaku coming in like that on the near post. You don't try and curl that in from that kind of angle. So again, it was just that really decided the game. There was nothing really outstanding in the game except Milan were able to deploy their game plan and City didn't know quite how to deal with it. Other than that, the difference was just a little bit of quality with Rodri to score and that lack of quality with Inter Milan. And belief just to go that extra yard and make it happen. So when their moments came, they didn't take them. And when City got their chance, they did. That's the difference really in the game. Let's take some comments from the crew. Last time doing a kind of a match reaction this season. Henry's in. Evening, Niall. I'm hungover with sadness and grief. Please humour us. Yeah, absolutely. It's depressing, yeah. Absolutely no bother on the shout out, mate. I shout you out all the time, pal. Do you feel sick to the stomach with this? I don't feel sick to the stomach because we kind of thought it was going to happen. I mean, if you look at the way the season panned out, it was kind of, when you feel like it's kind of destiny and you feel like it's just going to happen, this is the way it's going to be. And that's kind of how it felt. So I didn't think at any stage. I think on a number of shows with even 6 or 7 weeks ago, I turned around to people and I said, I was asking Darren and all about the treble. I was bringing up the treble long before Man City even brought up the treble. But yeah, so it's kind of frustrating. But there you go. Now they're in the club, a monumental, historic treble. But who knows? In time, will history have to rewrite itself? We don't know. What a cute dog you have. Yeah, he's an absolute style. I have 2 of them here, by the way. There's 2 of them here in the bed. Ronnie's over there and Coda's there, and there's another one downstairs, and they're all good. Good crack they are. What's the crack? How are you, Eno? Good man. Hope you enjoyed the game. Yo, Eno, how's you? We are all winners. R.I.P. Acers in. R.I.P. Manchester United. Oh, I tell you. It'll be interesting now because you know what's going to happen over the next week. The next week, you're going to see a lot of content creators from both sides of that divide, the blue and the red. They're going to be analysing both trebles and stuff like that. But Darren made a really, really good point that David Beckham made. Apparently, David Beckham was asked about City potentially doing the treble. And David Beckham said there's only one team that does it first. And that may be the one that sits in your historical memory, if you like, and stuff like that. But yeah, let us know. We'll probably have a look at it. We'll talk to Darren about it maybe on Thursday and stuff like that. I'm sure it'll be a sickener. But Acers Rodri, what a strike! Yeah, through a clatter of bodies and stuff like that. Onana just stood there, couldn't do anything about it. It was an exceptional goal. And interesting to think about where it came from. He's had a sensational season, and as Darren says, when you vote Haaland as being the best player in the league, Darren said this on the show if you remember, he's absolutely the best goal scorer. But as Darren said, for him, Rodri was the best player in the league all season, in terms of football play, and that's a great point to make. In fairness, and you see it tonight. We did say. I mentioned on the preview as well, the point that I want to raise as well. I mentioned on the preview that last week in the FA Cup final, when United got about them in the last 15 minutes of that first half, they had a lot of joy when they started bullying them and stuff like that. And City didn't fancy it. And that's when United came back into the game. And where the game fell down is half-time came, United went in, didn't come out and continue in that vein. And that's where City gain control, basically, But it was that's what I said on the preview. I said if Inter Milan can do that and study that 15 minutes and what they did, and if they can deploy that as a game plan, and we know how good Italian teams are at defending and stuff like that, you got to remember, Man City are by far, from a squad and a player point of view, the best team in Europe. They are absolutely sensational, and it's been shown, Inter didn't have that killer instinct in their squad. Yeah, that's just that bit of quality and that bit of belief, Acers, wasn't it? That's what they were missing big time. Absolutely. Pep has now won 2 trebles with Barcelona and Man City. So hang on 1 second there, folks. Just want to let these boys out. Yeah, off you go. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, absolutely, and he also, just don't forget, didn't he also won a domestic treble, didn't he, with Man City as well? Like, he's just sensational, and he up there on the 115 charges. Not an absolute dicky bird about it. Nothing. I'm sure that will come out. That will be the level of conversation, no doubt. But again, I think we can bring this up, and we can discuss it, and it will be discussed over the summer. There's no doubt about it. But when you're talking about teams going out on the pitch and doing their thing, it's just a different level and a different story. And I don't think tonight is the night to be bringing that up, being honest. But yeah, absolutely. Acers. Yeah, Morris, brown envelope was sent to the banks. yeah. I just don't look. It'll be interesting to see if history ends up getting rewritten. I'd be very, very, very surprised. But let's see what happens. Ian was in absolute great work from the ref and our linesman. Yeah, all teams have been just fantastic. Hi, Morris. And Acers, Pep just waiting for Thursday morning for new Premier League fixtures released. Yeah, absolutely. I'd say Whiskey Knows Fergie is bed into a brasser. Imagine. Hi, Henry, I'll have my roster tomorrow. There you go. Okay, no problem, Morris. I usually do my live schedule tomorrow. So awesome. Beckham is wrong. Nobody cares who's first. It's all about the present. Oh, God. I could see this now this week coming when we talk about it with Dazzler. This is going to be interesting. Has anyone got a view on who was the better treble? Could you even take them apart? Do you think it was right to take Dzeko off? Yeah, I think he was absolutely banjaxed, to be honest. That man, the years have caught up on that man, stuff like that. And if you look at it, as the game went on, I think from about 50 minutes or so, when he came out after halftime, I think he had kind of hit the wall, and he wasn't really having an impact on the game. So you have to change it up. If City get off, then it will kind of resemble Juve issues. Yeah, potentially. Like, I mean, again, it's very hard to judge this. We can't call it. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen in that situation. The charges are being brought. We don't know what's going to happen. But again, I would say tonight, if you're if you're a football fan, you have to kind of appreciate the football that they've played this season and what they've achieved. If there's going to be something that hangs over that's going to have to be resolved. And they will get their day in court, there's no doubt about it. And if it's proven that there's an issue, then history will have to rewrite itself. And that's the way it is. There's not a whole lot we can do about it at the moment. We can only take what's there on face value. They've been outstanding this season. I know exactly how Inter Milan feel. I know exactly how Arsenal feel. And I know exactly how United feel. We've been on the back end of them now for a number of seasons, and it's tough. Acers, United had tougher running in that than City did. Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll probably look at the whole thing. I mean, it'd be good to get I don't really have an opinion on it at the moment. I mean, they're both historic trebles, and now the only way to better it is the quad. We should have gotten the fella in the green and white shirt. Yeah, you love that fella in the green and white shirt. Yeah. Ted's in. Edison has to have been man of the match. That's a big call, Ted. Yeah, but he made those two saves he made were sensational. That one right at the end was absolutely sensational, right under the crossbar and all. And it was that kind of game, wasn't it? It was a game of real madness and stuff like that, wasn't it? Just absolute craziness at times. But again, it's just like how do you separate it and stuff like that? City will destroy Sevilla in the Super Cup final. I hadn't even thought about that, Aces. I hadn't even thought about it. Yeah, sure. Be interesting to see what City team it is. Sure, look at what they do. They go and win stuff, and then they bin off players and bring in new players. High Poker says Henry. Yeah, absolutely sensational. So give me your thoughts on it, lads. I know it's tough. It's tough for United fans on the moment. If anyone wants to jump on, I can drop the link in there. I don't have much more to add, really. I have to come on here as tough as it is and say congratulations, Man City. It's a killer. It's a killer for me to do it, but you can't not. Ted's in again. I think if Inter played with a little more confidence, they probably would have won. They seem to be playing for the draw. Yeah, I don't even know as if they were playing for the draw. I just don't think they had the belief to go and win the game. And then when the opportunities present themselves, I think they were more shocked than anything else. And of course, Lukaku, you got to put that header away, don't you? Ted says, hi, Henry. Absolutely. Make sure, folks, as well, you're subscribing to all the channels in the chat as well. It's our final match reaction of the season. It's been a long one. I think I've done at this stage, I think last count, I think I've done close to 80 match reactions this season. And God knows how many previews, both on the Liverpool side of things and also with Darren. We've knocked it out of the park this season with content. I think it's been there nearly on a daily basis between shorts and different topics and all that kind of stuff. We've had our Monday mashup and our Thursday tier talk, and it's been wonderful. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring you this content, guys, week in, week out of this season. The roller coaster that we had, and it's going to be a sensational transfer window as well. If you look at what's going on in the transfer window, unbelievable. Ian's in. Big shout out to BT Sports for giving us these live games on their YouTube channel. Yeah, so it's the least they can do, Ian, isn't it? The least they can do. Henry's in almost at 760 for your subs. Way to go, Niall. Totally deserve it. Yeah, absolutely. We're always trying to push to get to that magical 1,000 number or whatever it is, So, but it's a grind, as they say, and we'll keep on grinding away till we get there. We will be looking at a kind of a schedule for the new season and what we're going to put out there, games-wise and stuff like that. Obviously, my own team being so disappointed in landing in Thursday night football, we'll have to figure that schedule out because I'll be doing previews and reviews, and we'll have to see what way we organise Thursday tier talk then going forward and all. We'll be looking at that. City fans storming around Old Trafford, spray painted, noisy neighbours have come alive. Good Lord. And Henry's in as well, 134 for me. Yeah, that's come up quite a bit, Henry. I remember when we first kind of made contact and stuff like that. You were around, was it 72 or 75 or something like that, and we were pushing you to the 80 and pushing you to the 85 and 90 and stuff like that. Now it's 134, so keep it up. But the key is consistency. Keep on pushing the content out there. Create good content and keep on pushing it out. Keep on forming friendships with lads. There's some great content creators out there at the moment. Yourself, myself, Dave's LFC chat. Shout out to Dave. We've had a gas season making contact and stuff like that. Del Boy Gunner, of course, in the Arside Warden's team talk. Kyle Gunner Walsh, the Volcano, who this Wednesday is coming in to have lunch with me in person, which will be interesting. So we might shoot a video where we're having lunch and just chewing the fat about football, and we'll see how that goes. It'd be a bit of crack to do that, maybe. Let me see one more time. Can I just raise the lava out of that volcano and see what happens? And of course, Ted's doing great things on his channel. Morris absolutely knocking it out of the park on Cheap Heat with the interviews and everything else. So make sure you're supporting everyone. Jack, of course, on Anfield Road TV, Jamie Phillips and all, like they're great bunch of guys. The boys on Coppish, they're all great guys. They're all creating great content. And at times in this season when it was tough as a Liverpool fan, these are the things that kept us going, weren't they? We could still come on and lose the rag about a poor performance, but then still smile at some comment that someone made or something like that. So really, really important that we keep that going. Yeah, long hard slog certainly is. Ian, how's it going, Henry? It's going good. Morris, what's happening? Uh, don't bring him anywhere you enjoy going, Niall. If his meal isn't up to scratch, the volcano will erupt and you'll be barred. Yeah, don't know where we're going. We'll probably end up going to some. I might bring him. The safe bet's probably a Chinese buffet, isn't it? Because Kyle, I would say, is like me. It's probably volume more than that else. But we'll have a bit of crack. We'll do a bit of lunch. And you never know. We might set up the old phone and just press record and maybe push a few buttons about Arteta and Partey and a few things like that. Let's see what's happening. Yeah, absolutely. Heading for 800. You know, the magic number is 1,000, though. So I never look normally below that. But yeah, if we could bump over 800 and stuff like that. Folks, I hope as well you're enjoying the content in the morning as well. I get up in the morning time and I do the old morning brew where we talk about transfers and stuff like that. It's a bit of crack and stuff like that, and it's just fun, just a fun show, different kind of setting for me as well. Evening goes, fuck City, yeah, absolutely, Mark. Tough one. Mark, let us know your thoughts. We were talking tonight and we were saying we thought the ref was excellent. What did you think of the ref tonight? I just thought he was anonymous, he was invisible, and didn't have to get involved. And I don't think there was much calls on VAR and stuff like that. So I thought he did an exceptional job tonight. So we're on quick enough normally to bash refs and stuff like that as well. Myself and Mark as well, we're talking about we're going to be doing an officiating episode where we're going to be taking a look back on the season. And Mark's going to be giving us his thoughts on VAR, how it's looked this season, the kind of little subtle changes and stuff they've done, and the little sort of stuff with Howard Webb coming back in on the scene as well, and the kind of things he's kind of trying to implement and various other things like that, and how's it going to look going forward next season, and what's the dialogue going to be and all that kind of stuff. So we will be back looking at that. Time for bed. Have a good one, Henry. Sure, I'll talk to you during the week. I think we're on Friday. I'm going to be on Henry's channel. He's going to be interviewing me as a football fan. Don't know why, but first, be good cracking. Of course, I'm going to be the first one, so it's a privilege for me to do that. So looking forward to it, Henry. Acers, Chang's Buffet or Sinnett's Bar? Yeah, absolutely. Probably won't do Sinnett's Bar, but we'll see. Might just do Chang's. We'll see what happens. We shall be back for the mashups next season because you certainly will. There's a bunch of you guys are going to be coming back next season. We're going to be going at it big time again, and sure. Let's see what happens. 1,000 big celebration, fella. Yeah, absolutely. If we can get to it. Yeah, I thought he did very well. Not just him, as assistants too. Yeah, absolutely brilliant they were. Yeah, I have to say. Good night, all. Night, Henry. Have a good one. So that's it, folks. That brings down the curtain on another season. It's the last match reaction. I'm not going to say that I'll miss them because it's been a long slog. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time that I spend talking to myself in front of a laptop at times. But yeah, it's been a sensational season from a content point of view, not from a Liverpool point of view, obviously. We will be back stronger next season, like all your own teams as well. Ian's in Chang's has gone downhill. It certainly has. It has indeed. Yeah, it's not the way it used to be at all. Thank God. So it wasn't good for my health, working 5 hours up from a Chinese buffet every day. The temptation is too much. Great show. Really appreciate it, and I always appreciate you being on there as well. Acers is in. Scott Carson has 2 Champions League winners' medals with Liverpool and Man City. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Scott Carson. Absolutely fantastic stuff. That's it, folks. I know it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be tough for United fans as well. The historic treble matched. But that's it really until next time, folks. Enjoy your evening. Thank you once again for the support and the content all season. We keep on blowing the shows out to you every day, as we always do, bringing you the latest Liverpool news and football news and all that kind of stuff. So appreciate all your support. Like I said, support all the channels in the chat and all the other content creators that we mentioned earlier and stuff like that. They work tirelessly to bring you this content and bring you this crazy game of content creation that we are in. I will talk to you again real soon. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and if you haven't, why haven't you? Hit a like on the video, and of course hit that bell notification, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Once again, congratulations to City.